So, how did Chris Lewis get to be chairman of Biggleswade United?
I've been asked this question a lot actually. So I was actually here as the club's physio, and midway through that season, which was I think it was the 13-14 season, I think it was. The then chairman left midway through the season for various different reasons. So I was working at the time, and I had a call from Tracy midway through one of my clinics, and saying, "Oh, the chairman's left. We've had a big issue at one of the games. The chairman's left," and getting chatting with her and what have you after the game itself, and it effectively came about. We were sort of discussing a few things, and I think if I remember rightly, she asked me, would you mind stepping in? You seem like you've maybe got a couple of ideas that we could potentially use. Do you mind just sort of stepping into the role until we sort of get something sorted? And I've sort of been here ever since. So it was only initially as a temporary measure. I never envisaged being chairman of Biggleswade United on a longer term basis, but it seems to have worked so far.
So physio to chairman to then thinking, I know, we'll get Guillaume Balaguer on board. How did you manage that?
It was an email, quite simple as that really. It was an email. I mean, it's one of those things that this division, in this level of football, in order to progress, you either need one of two things. You either need some sort of something to inspire people. You either need some sort of movement or momentum generated by something, or you need cold hard cash to bring in the players and get yourself up out of the division. With the best in the world, I don't have a lot of money. I don't know anyone around the club that has a lot of money, so doing things like that is difficult and brings its own problems. I think in some regards, you've seen so many teams in recent history, like Portsmouth and Hereford and Leeds and all of these sort of big clubs that have had issues financially. It doesn't seem to be a particularly stable way of doing things, relying on cash. So from my point of view, it's a case of, okay, if we want to take this club forward, we need to do something to inspire people to come down and get involved. And I was doing some nosing around on Twitter and noticed that Guillaume was tweeting a lot at the time about the over 40s football that he was wanting to do at the Baldock Arena, just outside Hitchin. And from that, it was obviously fairly obvious that he lived local to the area. And I was looking around at different people at the time that we could potentially get involved, because with the best in the world, if you don't have someone that can help inspire people, then it makes it difficult to inspire people. So it's one of those things where if we can bring someone in that's a figurehead, someone that's knows the game really, really well, someone that's well respected in the industry, then it makes that sort of momentum possible. And fortunately, Guillaume was my number one choice, because I mean the guy, one, he knows absolutely everyone, he knows so much about the game, and he speaks about it with such passion. So the opportunity to bring someone like him into the club was something that when the opportunity arose, I couldn't really turn it down.
How's your working relationship with him going?
Yeah, really good. I think it goes so well because I think we both respect and understand each other's roles. I'm not a qualified coach. I haven't worked in the industry for anywhere near as long as Guillaume has. I think my total time working in football is the time that I've been at Biggleswade United. He's a UEFA B qualified coach. He's working towards his UEFA A licence. He's been involved in football for 20-30 years. He knows so much about the game. So I really just let him get on with it, and he lets me do the things that I need to do in terms of sort of leading the club and looking at the club in a much greater sense, rather than just on the pitch, looking at the business side of things and the match experience with the team that we've got on board, looking at sponsors, looking at, okay, where is the club going to be in the next 5 to 10 years? What do we need to do to get it there? So we both complement each other really well, because I think we both respect the various different things that we need to do, and we don't tread on each other's toes. I don't ring him up every day asking for reports on this and that. I just let him get on with it, because I know that he's going to do a good job.
So talking about the sponsorship that you've got on board, Top 11 and Adidas are massive business partners for any team, let alone Biggleswade United. How did you manage to get those guys on board? Was it just Guillaume's influence, or was it they saw where the club could go?
The Top 11 deal came about. We were looking for, a headline sponsor for this season because, we've got a lot of things that we want to do. We've got a lot of things that we still need to do, and for lack of a better word, those things need financing. And we were looking for someone to come on board, not only from a financial point of view, but someone again that could help build that momentum that we were looking to build and to bring credibility to the club. And Top 11 had seen the sort of the PDF that we put together, like a sponsorship PDF. We put it out on the internet and saying, do you want to get involved with Biggleswade United? This is how you go about it. This is the process, and this is what we can offer, etc., etc. And they messaged us and basically said, stop, whoever you're speaking to, please stop. We want to get involved. Just stop. We'd had a number of different offers from different sponsors that were interested in getting involved with the club. But Top 11 came out of the blue, and they just bombed everyone out of the water. They were so keen to get involved. They were like, please stop, whoever you're speaking to, we really want this. And I think when you get a massive organisation like Top 11, who've got 120 million users worldwide, come to a club like us and say, we really want to be involved, you listen. And we did, and they've been absolutely fantastic. They've been so supportive of us as a club, and I think they really want to work with us longer term, which is great for us because we've got a long way to go, and we've got a lot of things that we want to do. We need that support longer term.
So with so much happening so quickly, physio chairman Guillaume Balagué, Adidas, Top 11 coming on board, how are you able to manage to keep it focused and coherent with so much happening?
I think it comes down to the fact that we've worked really, really hard to build the back end of the club. We've really worked hard to bring in the right people in the different roles, put together a structure. All of these sorts of things can't be held together by 2 or 3 people. It takes a lot of man hours, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of cooperation from everyone. And so the one thing that I really wanted to do from my point of view before we started looking to build things on the pitch and really take the club to a next level was to think, okay, if we want to get to a certain place in time in the next 3 to 5 years or 10 years or wherever it is, what do we need to have in place first in order to allow that to happen? And the first thing we needed to do was to build the board, as it were. We needed to build the business team that works on those sides of things. We need to build the media side of things, that they can work with a website and to do interviews and to do all of that sort of stuff. And that was the real big plan, was to build all of these sorts of things first before then we could move the club forward. So I think from allowing the club to move forward in a coherent manner, I think we needed to have these sorts of people. And I think part of that comes with the trust of knowing that the people you're bringing in are the right people to do the job, and giving them the breathing space to do what they need to do, and to trust them with what they can do with the skill sets that they have. So I think it's very much at this club, there are, as you say, there are no egos. I mean, you have people like Guillaume Balagué coming in that's got like nearly 1 million followers on Twitter and knows everyone under the sun in football. The guy has no ego. He's in here after a game having a bottle of bud with all of the regulars that have been down here for the last 10, 15, 20 years. You can chat to him, and it's the same with everyone. Everyone who is at the club is at the club because they want to see the club progress and the club succeed. And there are no egos because everyone works together as a team, and like I said, we give each other space to do what we need to do.